Pogba will leave it for Rashford. He strikes. Oh, it's a goal! Staying on his feet this time. They went for Martial. Lovely touch by Fernandes. Cavani! Rashford all the way across goal. What a finish!
Welcome everybody. Welcome fellas. Welcome to All In All United. Now, guys, I don't know if the team this show the same All United. The same All United. Now, all I don't want to be the one to be heavy and negative, because I mean, if you look at Phil name, you're gonna know I's not the only one in this boat. You understand? But I mean, the same All United fellas. I mean, oh God. And after the high that we were on last week, you know, we all agreed that going off the top and, you know, getting glad and letting ourselves go, we agreed that it was justified. All right. And I guess this week, no. Let me make sure and make note of this, right? Because we were so high last week earlier that it had somebody who commented and said that McTominay was the new Scholes. Correct me if I'm wrong, you know. We was yesterday last week. We was high. All right, to come this week, right, and see this kind of thing, fellas. All I could say is the same All United. Anyway, before we start, right, I just want to bring a little positive insight on them. So wherever it worked, right? Mm-hmm. Now, the result today means that we have now gone 27 away games unbeaten, right? And I think we equaled Arsene Wenger's Arsenal, the Invincibles. I correct with that, right?
Yeah.
Right. So that is one positive. And for me earlier, I find the third kit look real good. So at least we look good today doing crap. We look good today. That third kit mint, you know? But fellas, let me get into the mix. Before I do that, right, let me just get some comments, because we have some people on the inside already that I want to recognize. Davion on the inside. Thanks. Oh God, you're out of timing, dog. You started out of timing already, boy. Richard, he's saying Bruno is the backbone of our team.
Oh, shut up. Shut up. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Don't start the podcast. Oh my.
Simeon, welcome, buddy. He's saying men still falling back to earth. Good evening. Yeah, boy. Hey, Riyadh, good night to you, buddy. Thanks for joining.
Good night, Riyadh.
Good night.
Davindra, good night to you, buddy.
Yeah, man.
Christopher, welcome, buddy. It's a while. We haven't seen you on the live. Thanks for joining, man. He's saying Marcel up my heart today. Love the guy, but yeah, boy. Me and you on the same boat. Oh, God. Quiet. I ain't gonna say nothing. I have nothing to say. Riyadh, time to sell. Yeah, let's go through now, man. Go through. Right? And just saying, now I am comment today. He said Marcel like he was in molasses. Oh God. Riyadh saying, man, lazy, careless, disinterested. Oh God, you're stretching there now. Oh God, I don't want to jump to try to defend Marcel. Oh God, Riyadh, you're pushing it there, boy. Hey Jody, welcome, man. Thanks for joining. Yeah, guys. So y'all, let's try to get the content out. So don't forget to share, you know, like. We appreciate it, right? Richard saying Reem, but what bigger picture should we be looking at with Marcel? We will get into that. You're laughing. Anyway, fellas. Today. Team sheet, fellas. Team sheet. We'll get off Nick on the team sheet. No hindsight, fellas. When the team sheet.
Because we was on a high from last week. Gosh, Dave. Oh gosh, because they get Lukaku and the man look like today. You say again, no? Or let's Chelsea, man. But anyway, right? Because of the form, I guess feedback from somebody.
Yeah, good.
Right. Yeah, because of the confidence he was riding on, last weekend, I think I was feeling like any team only powder, Southampton win and get. You know, knowing that Southampton would have sell or some of the best defenders, that are a young team, an inexperienced team, more or less. You're thinking that all right, another 3 points on the table. So any team only would have put out to me, I think would have gotten the result. So to me, seeing the team sheet, I was all right. Marshall coming in for James, again, more or less a kind of a no-brainer. Having a physical presence against Southampton players. Again, you could have seen that happening. But to be honest, no real surprises with me in the team sheet today.
All right. Ian, what you know?
Honestly, I think he should have started the same team from last week. I know McTominay, they said he had a knock or something like that. But if he could play later on in the game, he should be starting for my part. Right? Why would you start Matic? Right? I didn't agree with that lineup at all. I find Martial, he needs to come off the bench because he's coming back from a long-term injury. He was 5 months out. So I think he should have at least come on in the game. So I didn't agree with the starting lineup, but I was hoping that we could have pulled off something based on the fact that they lost one of their best defenders. But it wasn't to be because we didn't start.
Yeah. Anderson?
When I first saw the team sheet, I was a bit surprised that Matic and Martial was in the starting lineup. I thought he would have the defense. I expected to have the same defense from last week, and I expected McTominay and Fred, unfortunately, to be there, and I expected basically the same team. I didn't expect any changes. The only one change I probably would have expected is Sancho for James. That's the only thing I would have expected, because I think Sancho would have some game time. So I think he probably would have, been able to do it. But I didn't expect Martial to be there, at least to start. Not necessarily on the team, just to start. I thought he would have go with Greenwood, Pogba, Fernandes, and Sancho. And well, the rest of the team. But so it was a shock to see Matic and Martial both in the starting. So that was the only surprise for me.
All right. Phil, what you know?
So you guys can hear me well, right?
Yeah,
for sure.
So I saw a comment by Gregory Burgess who said that we're looking to give people minutes. I'm sorry, is this still preseason? I guess the intention was what are we giving everybody minutes for? There's a cricket match, buddy. I would have gone with the exact same team from the Leeds match, right? Why on God's green earth is Nemanja Matic? Oh my gosh. Remember when I said on the last podcast last weekend that we should not be reactive, we should be proactive? I'm kind of glad, and I'll get into more details when we discuss this, but Nemanja Matic needs to sit down and not play in the EPL anymore. He should not be starting for Manchester United. When it is the 80th minute and we're about 3 goals up, then we bring on Nemanja Matic. Other than that, Nemanja Matic should not be starting a match for Manchester United. Ask yourself, would Nemanja Matic start for any other team in this EPL? Ask yourself that.
But I had to agree with Nicole, because you would have thought after the first game, and fellas, I want to take you all back to the review or the show that we did before the Leeds game. Everybody was calling for Matic and Donny van de Beek to start, right? And people were fed up on this whole McFred thing, and then McFred came, and McFred had a decent game against Leeds. Now nobody wants to see Matic in the team. So it's real confusing how this team this play and how what this team will do to fans. So me seeing Matic there, when I considered how Matic, the kind of preseason Matic had, right? Even though, yes, McFred would have been the pairing that went into play Leeds, we understood what they would have offered for the threat that they had. But then when they consider the kind of game that Southampton displayed, we would have had more possession. We would not have to really be going and breaking down play. At least that's what I thought, right? So that's why when I saw the team sheet, I'm thinking, well, we wanted Matic. All right, we put Fred next to him for the energy, but Matic had that kind of calming little influence once he get the one-off games because we know he don't have the legs to play week in, week out, right? So when I saw Matic, I was like, well, okay. I mean, Matic had a good preseason. You know, Fred had a good game last week, so Fred scored in the Leeds game, and then the midweek game against Burnley, Fred scored. So we know Fred was confident going into the game, right? So, I mean, I know hindsight, guys, we want to vent and we want to say, well, why this person play, why that person play. And you listen to all the comments before the game, you know, the players, and everybody was talking about Daniel James' performance against Leeds. Everybody was saying, well, hey, Jadon Sancho taking that pick. Or Greenwood going out and Marcel go come back in the number 9. I will be all saying and Ollie do exactly what we all thought he would do. That's why I wasn't surprised with 11. Now, my issue is execution. And that is why I think we will get into now. So, guys, as seen, we have 15 views, and that is real good, guys. Thanks for that. Let me just get the likes going up as well as the shares, right? We appreciate it. Just want to get a comment here from Kristen. Kristen, thanks for joining, man. He's saying we have the easiest fixture compared to the rest of the top 4 teams. Shouldn't be dropping points at all. Straight here, you're right about that. Simeon also saying here, Matic made sense, but Matic played nonsense, pure crap. He was there to keep possession, but he was the main one giving it up. Yeah, people just didn't show up, boy.
Matches don't make sense. Matches don't make sense. Remember, you got Theo Walcott, who's already paced, and then you got Gineppo on the other wing, who's paced, and you got James Ward-Prowse, who's gonna find either one of them, right? So let's say we lose the ball in the midfield. James Ward-Prowse is gonna look for Theo Walcott or Gineppo, right? Those guys are both paced. You really expect Nemanja Matic to be keeping up with those guys? Come on.
Well, besides Matic, everything look off today. Everything look off.
Yeah.
Not just Matic alone.
No, true. We'll get to that.
That's a very good point, Ian. And
Yeah.
I mean, we could start talking on the game. So go through, fellas, because I mean, as you well say, I don't think I could point out one player that had a good game today. You know, anyway,
Paul Pogba.
Yes, Pogba.
Paul Pogba is levels above any other Manchester United player. Let's get that out there, okay? Paul Pogba made shit happen with the ball, okay? I'm sorry, but the real Bruno Fernandes, please sit down. Please sit right down, okay? Bruno Fernandes today was absolutely a coward, and he was spineless, right? Bruno Fernandes, just because he got a hat trick in the first game, nobody can touch me. Well, look what happened today. You got touched, you fell down, expected the ref to call, and what happened? Boom, goal. And all of a sudden, you're going and bitching to the referee for no apparent reason. Why? Just because you got touched? Who are you? Okay? And other opposition players are going to be watching this, because they see that if I barely touch Bruno Fernandes, he's gonna bitch and he's gonna have a bad game, right? And this is only the second game of the season. Just wait and see.
But I have a question, right? And because you brought up that Phil, and I want to pose this one to Nico because I know you had a refereeing experience, right? Now we understand that in the EPL, they kind of change the rules, to make it a little more physical so that the diving and not going to get away, right? And Ollie made an interesting point in his press conference. He said he understands the rule amendment, but you don't want to move from basketball where every little touch is a foul to rugby. And I really thought, this is my opinion, Phil, I thought Bruno got fouled.
Me too, I thought
he went through Bruno. I've seen less fouls called this season for that. So I thought that was a foul, but Nico, tell me what you thought.
What has happened is our referee doesn't want to set the tempo of our game, right? So before you go into a game, you know it have the players that just score plenty. You know they have the players who just go down easy, right? You know the players who just hit bad tackle, pelt bad tackle. So you just identify all these players before the game. So to set your tempo of the game, how you want this game to be played, you would allow certain things early in the game. So let me say, on that player who like to quarrel, right? He get a tackle, you leave the tackle, right? You don't call it one time because the moment you call it, he would feel like, hey, I had the referee in my pocket, right? So the referee set in the game. So, and to me, that touch what Bruno get, he wasn't even aware that the player was coming, you know. So to me, it wasn't. That's how the referee would have planned to set his game, right? Because if even as a referee, I'm not calling that, to be honest, because Bruno stand up like he was in a party. You stand up like in a party, but in a football game, right? So all right, as a referee, I played that, right? I got set the tempo of the game from then, right? And I played that. And exactly, and unfortunately, the goal scored on us. But that is how the referee planned to set up his game, especially playing against a player like Bruno Fernandes. So unfortunately, the goal scored. But if I was the referee, it would be the same thing.
All right. Interesting. Go through the line. I know you wanted to say something.
No, like I understand when Nico bring it across that way, I understand what he's saying. But after that, he gave a lesser foul on Fred.
Yeah.
So
Consistent.
And it's because it's Bruno. Because it's Bruno.
Professional.
And how Bruno's want to attack the referee. So you know, so the referee set up his game. You know, this is why I allow him. Right? This is why I allow him. So you had to play through that. Anything more than that I might call. But you see that, you had to play through that. You know, and you know, unfortunately the goal scored.
Interesting.
And that's the thing. That's you gotta step up.
When Bruno does not get his way, his game goes down.
Just
declines. When Bruno gets clipped or referee does not give him what he wants, all of a sudden he's starting to throw the toys out the pram, and all of a sudden people talking about Bruno. Bruno is our backbone. Boy, behave.
Nobody. The thing about Bruno is he could have a bad game and then one magic moment and we score. So Bruno is a very crucial player to the team.
Yeah, very influential.
He's crucial, but that magic moment I'm still waiting for right now. I'm pending. I'm on the podcast, and I'm still waiting for that magic moment.
Phil, no.
Don't do that.
Many times, Phil, don't do that. Yes, we know you're disappointed with his performance today, but he has given us a lot of top performances.
No, I'm saying that you guys are saying that Bruno Fernandes, you probably were still waiting for that magical moment today, and so was I, and I'm still waiting.
Today, of course.
Today, yeah.
Okay. Yes.
So I want to get to Anderson, but before I do that, let me just get this comment from Karina here. Karina, thanks for joining. All right. She's saying maybe it was the pressure of the home crowd too. I don't know. I thought it was a foul. But I think Nico cleared it up first with his better refereeing experience. King Unruly Pre, thanks for joining, buddy. He said Bruno played for the foul to slow down the game.
Nah. Bruno was barely aware. He was barely aware that man was coming.
Simeon also saying the question is, if Pogba's best and new position is more forward, why are we so heavy on forwards and not investing in the midfield? Very interesting. Anderson, give me your thoughts on the
Well, honestly, like Nico said, I didn't think it was that hard of a foul. I thought it was a soft, basically, you know, it was soft. I mean, he didn't see the guy on his back, which probably could have been the fault of somebody, for Fred, for giving the ball in that position, giving him the ball with a guy, basically, because Fred was actually watching him. Bruno was his back receiving the ball, so Fred was actually could have seen the guy coming towards him, and he still gave him the ball. Yes, it was. So it wasn't really. I don't think it was a foul. The guy just came in and he took it off of him, basically, kind of easy, and then the goal. A goal scored. But I didn't think it was a foul. And as Nico said, sometimes the referee does want to basically show certain players, especially flair players, that today is not going to be one of those games where you can just go down easily and everything going to be your way. So I understand that. But I didn't really think it was that big of a foul. But I think the other players around should be more aware to say, hey, normally if a guy is on your back, hey, heads up, a guy on your back, or and Fred should not have given in the ball with a guy coming on your back,
Exactly.
which is part of my frustration with Fred. Fred has always been, Fred is the guy who's supposed to be the number 8, technically. He's the number 8, not the number 6. Matic was the number. When Matic is the defensive midfielder, Fred is the guy next in. So Fred is the guy who is the distributing the ball. So if Fred have the ball with nobody around him, basically, and watching all the players in front of him, and basically give a guy a ball with a guy coming on your back, anything could happen. He could lose the ball. Anything could happen. So it wasn't a foul, but I kind of have put some of the blame on Fred for that one as well, because I don't know what he was thinking or what he was seeing. But clearly, everybody could see that guy was right there, and only Fred didn't see that guy for some reason.
I was always joke when I telling Nico that Fred always up under Bruno Bamsi. Every time in training, when you see Bruno, you see Fred walking. For games, when you see Bruno, you see Fred there. So I guess he just want to pass to Bruno. That he boy. I want to get. It's a very interesting comment here, and this comment shares my opinion as well. He said the entire team was unaware of the press by Southampton. We looked real lackluster in our half. And fellas, I realized that it's almost as though we went in not expecting Southampton to come with the high press, and Southampton executed their high press to a T. Now, whether their execution of the high press was due to our inability to break it, or that they were just so good, right? Because we struggled earlier. That tactic that Southampton set up messed up our entire game plan, messed up our entire play. This is not to justify, anything, because I thought our forwards were poor, right? But because of that high press and because our midfielders, Matic and Fred, couldn't bring the ball out from the back, our attackers had little to no service. You know what I'm saying? And the little that they had, well, we didn't really utilize anything. But you want your strikers to get as much opportunities as possible. Yes, we want them to be clinical. Yes, we want one shoot, one kill. Yeah, we want that. But let me be fair to these human beings. Give them opportunities. Look at chances we created against Leeds. So if I am a striker and I coming into this team, I fancy myself to get at least 4 or 5 chances today to try something, But when my midfield letting me down, we getting pressed now, my game had to change because I know how to drop to cover and to help my midfield and not focus on what my job is as an attacking player or a striker. I don't know what your thoughts were, but I thought that Southampton's tactic, it messed with us. We were not able to handle it. And that messed up our entire game plan and football.
I think it was the physicality. I think they came out physical to rough us up. I think that was their game plan from the locker room. The coach, Ralph Fussen-Hutel, or whatever is his name, he'd say, hey, I want to up, in Manchester United faces, get at them, kick them, hit them, and we couldn't stand up against that. We want to play pretty boy football, because simple as Anderson would have said, yes, Fred would have seen maybe Aman and Bruno, but to me, I find Bruno had more than enough time to at least make a one-touch pass, but unfortunately, it is what it is, so it was what it was, yeah.
Bruno had real time to play, to make that play.
I think so. I
just think the mentality wasn't there today with them fellas.
Why? We just won 5-1 versus Leeds. What do you mean the mentality wasn't there?
Yeah, but you could see the attitude was different. Yeah. We weren't pressing as we usually press.
Yeah, they were bullying us. They were just bullying us all over the pitch, and we didn't know what to do.
To me, it's 2 things. Southampton were more aggressive than us, and our game just never got started.
So you're saying that Man United went cocky today, then, right?
Probably.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, I think so.
Because all of a sudden we are top of the table after beating Leeds 5-1. Nobody can touch us. Bruno Fernandes is the next coming of Zidane.
Underestimating Southampton.
Yes, I think we did. Complacency.
Them 9 last season or so, we'll come with a kind
attitude. Yeah. I think that's part type.
And the thing about it is, last season we saw where we went into games where we were supposed to win, and we the same thing. And that's why I titled the show "Same Old United," because we've seen this so much times before, where you have a good result in your last game and you just go into the game thinking that is a walk in the park. Riyadh saying here, Kareem, I like your indirect attempt to protect. And
now you can't. It had nothing. Kareem could do to protect AM9. Not nothing.
Not tonight, Kareem. Not tonight. This Casper, the friendly ghost, and there's Tony Martial. There's no difference. There's no difference.
I think he
all I was saying, and watch me, I did say, and I used the plural term. I said attackers. You understand what I'm saying? Because I was talking about our attackers on a whole. Them fellas suffer for service, and it was simply because the midfield wasn't up for it. So I mean, while if Anthony Martial fall in the category the attackers on the field at the point in time, well then so be it. But it was not to directly protect any one person, Jody saying, Phil, you keep singling out one player when it was the entire team.
I singling out one player because y'all like to gas up Bruno Fernandes so much. You guys are on Bruno Fernandes so much every single weekend, saying that Bruno Fernandes has been more influential than Paul Pogba this and Paul Pogba that. Tell me what Bruno Fernandes did today. Thank you. Tell me. You guys tell me that Bruno Fernandes is the spine of this team. So I'm taking the spine and I'm analyzing it. You got a problem? Go and cut grass. Go and shovel snow. I don't give a shit. I don't. I honestly don't.
Somebody gonna chuck cold water and to cool down.
I got my own water here. I don't need no damn cold water from nobody in the comments, Mike. Come on.
Richard saying again, Bruno did more for us in the past year than Pogba for us in
Paul Pogba took Man United to a Europa League final and won. What has Bruno Fernandes done? Stupid comments. Go and cut grass. Next comment, please.
Yes,
go and cut grass.
We want to respect everybody's opinion. Right?
Yes.
Go and cut grass. Go and shovel snow. Go and pick up horse shit. Go.
But I do agree with Jody's comment here. He said
I agree as well too.
It was not up for it, and it had to be a psychological thing earlier. It's annoying, it's sickening earlier. But I was, as the point that I was making, right, and this one, and it's not if you want to weigh in on this. The inability of our midfield, and guys, Oli has said I mean, whether he really mean it or he don't, but Oli has said he's pleased with our midfield, right? So, guys, going, I don't know if I'm not sure.
Nah, that tricks. Oli, Oli always doing that. Oli does say he pleads with Pereira, but really, actually, you want to get rid of Pereira. I plead with Lingard. I want to get rid of Lingard.
But Oli, but Nico, hear the thing, right? We have 9 or 10 days to sign a midfielder, and we just only take 3 weeks to sign a player.
We're waiting on one player, and we we're trying to offload before we buy. That's what it's looking like. But Kamavinga look like the man we really want.
If he's so.
Yeah, looking like him. We're waiting for him. His agent trying to push him to United.
Really good night, buddy. Thanks for joining me. Saying Southampton surprised us with the press and they executed it to perfection. Anderson.
Yeah, well, the mid, like Nico said, when Ole say he happy with something, I mean somebody had to go. And we all know Pereira on his way to Flamengo. So so that is one person out the door. And but to me the problem is if you have to play, whether it be Matic and Fred, McTominay and Fred, once you have to play 2 people to cover that position, then something is wrong, and that has to be seriously addressed, because you can't keep playing 2 guys to cover 1 position, especially when both of them not really standing out and doing well. That it's either so both of them is not doing a good job individually. So if you put them together, at least they could do a job collectively. But that is basically taking away a position from the field, from the field from the other players. So that is basically, that is an issue. The problem, and like I said, Fred and McTominay are not world class. The only world class midfielder we have is Paul Pogba. Only world class. I was surprised though, but I will say I was surprised that if you go and break up the McFred really, team setting, I thought Van der Beek would have been the person to come in. Because he's somebody who can get the ball and distribute it out, or at least pass the ball along in midfield without losing it or giving it away to the other team every chance he gets. So at least I thought if you're going to break up Fred and McTominay, at least I thought Van der Beek would be the other person to break it up. But he went with Matic. But Matic is old and past his prime, and Fred is not really. You can't really count on Fred to dictate a midfield and say Fred is going to be the guy, because he don't have that awareness. He don't have that, I guess, what you call it, football IQ to be a central midfielder. He can run around, go here, go there, tackle, but he don't have the IQ to know, how to give a ball to a man with not somebody on your back, or to, and even when they had lost the ball in that same play that the goal scored, his positioning was off when the ball came back. He was all over the place. Like, he didn't know where to be, he didn't know where to go. He was like, they're just running around. Which is the problem. He always just running around. He's like, he doesn't really go anywhere, he just running around. And I guess that's why Ole likes him, because he just runs around and, makes space. But,
Yeah, but
Bruno, they do need somebody. They do need somebody.
Yeah, because it's glad to see that we need a defensive midfielder.
Yeah.
I think that he played Matic hoping that he would have the discipline to be that defensive. Even though he's a defensive midfielder, he played him hoping that Fred will be a little more free. But Matic doesn't have the legs to play that position anymore for us. So, and then putting Van der Beek there with Matic or with Fred is suicide, because Donny not going to come back to defend like how Fred would do it.
But Fred is not even a defensive midfielder. Fred, you put in Fred, who's a kind of a central midfielder, with Donny Van der Beek, who is kind of like whose natural is a number 10 in his last year under Ten Hag, right? So that's why we definitely need a player who is disciplined enough to sit in front of that back four, right? I remember when Reem said a couple weeks ago, if we don't get a defensive midfielder, what if we get a player who can do that duty, right? And I'm starting to kind of lean towards what Reem is saying, right? I mean, if we don't get a defensive midfielder, a guy who's a specialist, right? We need to find a player who is disciplined enough to do those defensive midfield duties. Doesn't have to be a defensive midfielder, but I honestly don't know who in this team right now is disciplined enough. And all the talk about Camavinga is a good signing, Leon, but Camavinga is not a defensive midfielder.
No, he's not. Right? So we could probably look into a deep line midfielder somewhere in the mold of Carrick. And that's where Ruben Neves would come in. But everybody, it's clear to see that we're missing a player. It's clear to everybody, even the commentator today said it. You can see United needs a player. So you feel Ole don't know that? Ole knows we need that one player. But I think one of the players he loves is Declan Rice. But I don't think we will never get Declan Rice. We'll never get him.
$100 million for that thing.
Nah, I think there are better players out there than him.
Yeah.
But Nico, I know you're going to make a comment, but just factor this into it, right? Donny Van der Beek. Now, I know you all mentioned on, when we were talking just now, but I mean, I know it's not based on how we feel in it, but what going through Donny van de Beek head right now. 2 games, and you ain't get a shout. It's at a game when we was winning, you could have get, we were winning comfortably. If it was a game to bring on a Donny van de Beek, would have probably been against Leeds. And in a game now where, we're looking for something, the team not playing well, and you still get overlooked. Jesse Lingard now come back from COVID, and McTominay have 50% still getting over here. How as the vendor asking here, how Donny van de Beek will be feeling?
But like I come up here anyway. That man's sour, boy. No, but definitely, no, but he had to be feeling horrible, boy. You had to be feeling horrible, because how bad could you really be? You'd have done some work, let me say, to build up your physical attributes, as I would have said. You come back stronger, come back fitter, and even that isn't good enough with the talent that you would have come with. So but he had to be feeling under the white line. But I think his confidence, I feel he had to build back his confidence somewhere else before he even come back United. Because this one, I find today, if I was him, I would have been totally, utterly gutted and embarrassed. And, it would have been a horrible feeling, a very horrible feeling.
I think Ole mentioned him after the game.
We see
so that he would get playing time.
Man, he was saying that since last season.
Yeah, but he you can't waste the man. Donny talented, but you can't waste him.
If I'm Donny van de Beek, and by the end of, let's say, September, I still have 0 minutes under my belt, sell me in January. I don't care. Sell me in January.
Loan or something. Do something.
Nah, he not gonna want any loan. Anybody that goes on loan normally doesn't really have a future at United. Like, let's be real. You think Andres Pereira and Jesse Lingard have futures at United? No.
Well, we see Lingard staying.
Don't know, behave. No.
Yeah.
Looking like Phil.
What?
Looking like that Lingard staying.
So let's rewind. Jesse Lingard wants to be in the England national team come next year, 2022, right?
Yeah.
So on one hand, I can stay at United and get 0 to 10 minutes versus going to West Ham where I can get 60 plus minutes every game and have Gareth Southgate look at me on a regular basis. You're trying to tell me that Jesse Lingard, even though I want to make the England national team, I'm still going to play with Manchester United where I'm going to get 0 to 10 minutes every single game? That makes sense?
Well, some other say the fee though.
What I think will happen,
he has no choice but to stay.
What I think will happen with Lingard, because from what I'm reading, Oli would have given him certain reassurances that he'll get minutes. Now, it may not be the kind of minutes Lingard looking for, but Lingard, just like last season, Lingard will stick it out until January, and if you're not comfortable with the playing time between now and then, I think he'll look for a move in January, whether it's a loan or a permanent switch or whatever. But as I think, I don't see Lingard leaving, this window. And the reason why, if Lingard did not play today, I might have leaned more on what you're saying, Phil. Right? But the fact that he overlooked Donny.
Thank you.
Lingard.
I don't like that.
That was always telling Lingard, I wanted to play, I want to keep here, you'll get minutes. Look, take this minute.
No man who had COVID can't play before me. I don't care who.
Exactly.
Today.
That telling you.
But if Rashford was there, I know Lingard was good.
Yeah, definitely. Let me just get some comments here, right? Akida, thanks for joining, buddy. Saying exactly why we can't keep playing 2 players in one position. Great point, Anderson, right? So I just want to get that. Thanks for joining, Akida. John Paul Peter Belma saying the team a bit top heavy at the moment. I'd say goodbye to Martial, Matic, and Jones. I'm bringing a proven center defensive midfield. All right. He also saying, I know we would have spoken about this before. He said Lindelof is a center defensive mid if we don't sign one. I know, John Paul. I know.
No. Sorry.
No, that's not a good idea.
A deep line midfielder, not a defensive. Yeah,
Davian Cook, Basuma, he had a real good game for
Yeah, he played well versus Watford. I think it was yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday.
He played really well.
But here was my thing, fellas. We see a lot of players when how well they play when they play in a system, and most teams have that kind of system now. You know, that is allow the players to look good. They'll come Man United and they'll start to look like. Anyway, next comment. Zachary, thanks for joining, buddy. And Zachary commenting from the YouTube side here, and he said, "No way, Donny can ever be worse than drink water." Zachary always a Chelsea man, so that's what I'm coming. Right. Simeon saying Pogba is really showing a player of the year potential. His play and effectiveness is catching up to his talent. Yeah. Let me hope he can keep it up. I think we want consistency from everybody. So, you know, I mean, I have a next point, but in the event anybody want to talk about any other point that you want to talk about, you want to talk about it from the game?
Mason Greenwood. I've been in love with Mason Greenwood for God knows how long now, right? And Mason Greenwood at 19 years old, the guy has a bright future at United, right? The ability to use not only one but both feet is rare in some players these days, right? And for Mason Greenwood to be doing that at 19 years of age, definitely looking forward to what the future has in store for him. And he's good up top. He's good coming off the right or left. And one thing I must say about Mason Greenwood is that his passing has improved tremendously, right?
His movement, you know, Phil, his movement.
Yo, that's a good movement.
But one thing that surprised me, if I want to take it back to the Leeds game, right? I honestly will admit I did not know Mason Greenwood had that much pace.
I didn't know that too.
I didn't know. I know he was. I know he was like quick, but not like Rashford or Dan James quick. But I didn't know he had that much pace.
Or is it that the player he was running against was real slow? You know?
No, but he had to catch up. No, but he had to catch up.
Real quick, eh?
No, but he had to catch up. Remember, he was coming from behind and he had to catch up to the guys.
The ball was slow.
Look how I try to be positive and Nico trying to be negative.
The negative, but you know, I mean, I find he really becomes that wrong. You know, really is man.
That man Kenton, thanks for joining, buddy. Long time we see Kenton, but he said it's the worst watching my team play that football. Donny should be starting now. I don't want no other excuse. We know Kenton calling for Donny long time, eh?
Yeah, for sure.
He also saying, yo, Phil, you're a level-headed guy. Do you think Oli improved Greenwood, or was he always this type of player?
I would say Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has improved Greenwood on and off the field, right? Off the field with regards to the incidents with Phil Foden and what's not, but on the field, Mason Greenwood's movement, as Leon said, was all down to listening to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and as well like watching the likes of Edison Cavani and also Marcus Rashford as well too, right? And Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is, I won't say he's fully responsible for that, but he has played some part in the improvement of Mason Greenwood.
Nice. Nico?
Now you taking you on. Kenton, me taking you on, boy. Right? But I want to talk about Pogba. You know what I mean? Again, Pogba. I don't know if it's seeing Varane on the bench. You know, I want to impress Varane. I don't know, but Pogba looking at different player this season. Again, today very impressive. You saw some touches in some tight spaces. That real quality, and for a man his size, that man different. It was unfortunate that one of the plays where he would have played through a few players didn't score. I think that would have been the icing on the cake, because again, quality and awareness and vision of where spaces, where players coming from, to hit that fake, to create that space. You see today, he was levels above everybody else today. And if we could really get a consistent Paul Pogba and only play him where clearly you see where he wants to play, where he is enjoying his football, I think Pogba in for a real good season, and I hope that, the team around him don't disappoint him more than anything else now, but I think the form he is in right now, I think looking real good.
No, I like how the discussion flowing, right? Because that flowing right into my next point for you. Now, last week there's a gentleman that I like to call Graham Souness, right? He had some stuff to say about Paul Pogba, right? That's even a former Manchester City player had to jump to Paul Pogba's defense, right? And you all know what I'm talking about. Here now, if I tell you which sometimes my fist can I guess reach through the TV. These people have an agenda, right? The agenda is so blatant, their bias is so obvious that this man will come out and can even praise Paul Pogba in the run of form he in. You understand? And then he have nothing negative to say about Harry Kane's actions with regard to Tottenham. He had nothing to say about Jack Grealish's debut with Man City in the league. You understand? But he referred to Paul Pogba as the $100 million player.
Can I be blunt with you guys?
Yeah, I know I'm feeling it.
Can I be blunt with you guys?
Yeah.
You see the color of Paul Pogba?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not finished yet. Paul Pogba is not English.
Exactly.
So great. You think Graham Souness is going to criticize Boy Wonder Harry Kane, Boy Wonder B-Tech, Boy Tech, Jack Grealish?
Never.
No. Come on. Paul Pogba is not from England, and he is this complexion.
And I think Richards fell short of saying that to him. He wanted to say that to him.
Definitely.
But he couldn't say that on TV. He couldn't accuse him of that on TV. But it sounds like that to me. Yeah.
But like you said, but Graham Souness have an agenda from a long time. It's nothing new. It's like he would never. I have never heard him say anything positive. Never about any Pogba, anything. Or United. I know he's a Liverpool man, and he's a old Liverpool man, but he has never said anything. Even Michael Richards, even Ian Wright, even all those guys, at least they say something. Or the team doing this, or the player doing this.
Even Jamie Carragher, who's a former player.
Even Jamie Carragher does have a level head, but this guy, he doesn't even he's like Piers Morgan in a kind of way. That kind of in that kind of like
arrogance.
Yes, arrogant. I'm gonna say this. This is my horse that I'm gonna ride, and I don't care what nobody say. This is how I'm gonna say things, and this is what I'm gonna say. And nobody else nobody will pull him up on that then. Nobody will say, hey, you're talking nonsense. The guy having a good game, the guy is having a good season. Nobody will ever pull him up. It's only, like I said, Michael Richards did it this time, and I'll hope that. But I guess it all depends on who with him, that will say something. I'm sure if Rio Ferdinand was there, Rio Ferdinand would surely tell him something. But I don't know if they're on the same kind of. Yeah, I don't know if they're on the same thing, but I'm sure Rio Ferdinand would have definitely put him up and say something. Definitely.
Was this comment here? Oh my gosh! We try to keep this show PG-13, okay? Oh my gosh! I went to church today,
Oh gosh, hey! But I really think though, together with whoever Souness dealing with, and I don't disagree with the points that you all made, but I think that Sky or BT or whoever it is, that they're milking that as well.
For sure.
Giving them
for sure.
Them a talking point, they're getting clip up, they're getting retweets,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
and it's all about that. So they like the fact Graham Souness controversial, especially about Paul Pogba. So they're pushing that as well, and that encouraging Graham Souness to continue this nonsense. Go through.
I can tell you something right now, right? Over the last probably 5 to 7 years, channels like BT, and TalkSport have been losing fans because of the emergence of fan channels, right? So fan channels are actually taking over for the last. So you'll see Arsenal fan TV, you'll see Chelsea fan TV, you'll see Mark Goldbridge on the United Stand, just to name a few, right? You'll see that over the last probably 5 years, they've attracted around 1 million viewers, right? And that's why the likes of BT and TalkSport need to find some sort of new creativity way to get back those fans. So don't be surprised if Souness is always going to be talking about Paul Pogba because Paul Pogba was one of the hottest topics for the last probably 2 years in England, right? So don't be surprised if Souness keeps on talking about Paul Pogba until he leaves Manchester, right?
Yeah.
True.
Yeah. Before we move on, and if anybody, I don't know if you're jumping on this one, but let me just get his comment, and if nothing, we could move on, right? Kenton saying, do you know how hard it is for them to see a young black man possess that type of talent, win a World Cup, and make more money than he can take it? Exactly. It's hurting. Anything?
That's why you never get another job. That's why you never get another job.
All right. Nice. So nothing on this again. We have given Souness or Souness enough airtime, right? On All in All United. So guys, this is the last point that we'll be talking on here. Now, this is my opinion, right? So feel free in the comments on the panel here, as you see fit, right? So after the last 2 games, now we know that Varane coming in, is a marquee signing. He's coming to really, solidify our back line, right? But I've been watching since Varane came, and Lindelof really up the game. And over the last 2 games, Leeds and Southampton, Lindelof has been very good, and Lindelof was actually better than Maguire today earlier, right? But the narrative is that when Varane come in, Lindelof is the one getting dropped. I think if Lindelof continues to play like we play, because he has been good, right? Does Varane walk into the starting lineup?
Maybe we might have a change of formation. Maybe early you thinking of playing a back three. And possibly maybe that could work. Play Wan-Bissaka and Shaw higher up, as wing backs with our back three. Maybe that might work for us. You never know. Yeah, we go. Yeah, and in terms of that, we will get more bodies in the midfield where we're struggling, right? And we may be able to control the game a bit more because we know the midfield of our team is our weak point. So if you play these 2 wing backs and you have more bodies in, you might not have that technical ability which we need, but we will have more bodies, close down more space, and maybe and build the football from there. Maybe that could help. That may be the answer.
So just out of curiosity, if we play 3 at the back and we play the 2 wing backs, where Pogba and Bruno gonna play?
Pogba played where he played today.
Yeah, Pogba plays where he played today. Pogba still play where he played today on the left, right?
It's like a 3-4-3.
Yeah, Bruno on the right. You still have one on top. You can still do that.
3? So like Pogba will be like in a more advanced position then.
Yeah, of course. That's like what he played today.
But he can have the freedom to drift inside and Shaw will provide that kind of width.
Yeah.
So you think that'll be more effective than like a 4-3-3?
Possibly, yeah. Why not?
Okay.
Why not? Yeah, because Shaw doing well high up the field. Even Wan-Bissaka, if I has improved high up the field also. And they had the cover of, let me say, if it's Maguire, behind Shaw, whoever it is, and I think maybe possibly that could work. I think that could work.
So you're saying like the back 3 would be Lindelof, Varane, and Maguire?
Yeah.
I don't think you'll sacrifice that 3 defenders.
That's what.
3 defenders.
But you all know that's what Chelsea playing, and that Chelsea looking so good playing that formation, So I mean, it's
Yeah,
a
but
good.
Chelsea has a right back that can actually attack. We don't.
No, but still, Wan-Bissaka has improved. Wan-Bissaka has improved.
But Wan-Bissaka is not on the same level as Reece or Trent Alexander-Arnold. You give the ball to Trent Alexander-Arnold, magic will happen.
Well, Dalo might take that position. You never know.
Talent, yeah.
Dalo might take that position.
Riyadh saying here, with a back three, we could start higher up the pitch and condense the play. Yeah. Because I watch how Chelsea play with our back 3-4-3 and they look so fluid, you know?
Yeah.
I think last season the aim was to play that back three. That's why he bought Tellers.
Yeah, that's correct. That's correct. And Shaw was dropping into the centre back.
Yeah, I think that's why, but it didn't work out.
Yeah.
All right.
So maybe that might be the go-to formation.
Well,
Zachary
Ole has many options
Exactly.
now.
See what Zachary's saying. Jorginho and Kante, two disciplined football players versus Fred and Scott or Matt.
Fred.
With that position, you have to play McTominay and Pogba in the deep. Pogba could control the game from the deep there. And
I feel Pogba will still play good in that left drifting inside position. I feel because how Chelsea does with Havertz and who's the next person that's play there? Havertz and Mount. They just come inside, you know, because it's Reece James and Alonso just provide the width now.
Yeah,
exactly. Because not Reece James, Mount and Havertz don't play wide; they play right behind the striker, right?
Yeah. And Lukaku fit that thing so perfect, eh?
Yeah.
So that's a good shout, Nico. But I don't know if Oli will look at that, boy. You know, Richard saying for the people who don't know, Pogba is a world-class performer and not a world-class player. That's the difference. So don't give the guy all that hype, please, Phil.
Nah, I kind of disagree with Richard a little bit. Yeah, you can say Pogba is
the same thing.
You can say Pogba come the comment and say Pogba is a world-class player. How you can say Pogba is a world-class player?
Yeah, I honestly don't understand that comment.
You have Pogba was the best player for the best midfielder for the Euros went. He was when France won the World Cup. He was one of the main players in the team. He's one of our main players for all the seasons he have been at our club.
Nico, you're wasting your breath. Would you like some water? Would you like some water to address that comment? I'm not addressing people like that who don't watch, who probably watch football on the Discovery Channel. No, I'm not addressing that person. Come on.
No, Richard has been on the show. You know, Richard. We know Richard. He had enough with Pogba. You know, so not enough respect. Richard, but I feel a little off there, buddy. You know.
Yeah.
Riyadh saying Lukaku, you mean Don Touch?
Yes, man. Lukaku could end up top scorer in this Premier League. Look, with that system that Chelsea played, all it was missing was a striker like Lukaku.
You see Pablo Mari today? Pablo Mari could not handle Lukaku, boy. Look. Jesus, boy.
So anybody else on the topic with Lindelof? Because I have a next question with Varane. Okay, good. So let me get this one for you, all right? Now, a lot of people were calling for Varane to start. A lot of people were calling for Sancho to start because those are two marquee signings and they have not gotten a start yet. And I mean, when you listen to Oli, he keeps saying probably not ready, you know, stuff like that. But then when you look at Chelsea, Lukaku joined a couple of days ago and he played 90 minutes today, right? Ben White went straight into the Arsenal team and then
But Reem, Lukaku has played already at West Brom, Everton. He's played at Man United, so he has some knowledge of the Premier League. Ben White was signed from a Premier League club as well. In my opinion, I would not start Varane in an away match. I would start Varane in a home match. I would start Sancho coming from Germany because the Bundesliga is different from EPL, right? I would start those guys in a home match where the 12th man, the crowd, will give them a bit of confidence as well too, right? That's just me. So
you all don't disagree with Ollie's approach in terms of trying to, take his time with how he brings Sancho and Varane into the team. You all agree with Ollie with it? Because I look at the other teams and whether they would have had Premier League experience. Bruno didn't have no Premier League experience. Bruno came into the team and hit the ground running.
But Pogba was injured. Don't forget.
Yeah.
Pogba was injured.
But it still happened. And if you want to use that, could be something to go by. Well, probably the whole idea of a player needing time to adjust. Probably it doesn't really exist. Probably a player could really come in without experience in the league and hit the ground running. So, but I mean,
everybody could do that.
We all think about Ollie calling while we see other coaches playing the players.
Some players may acclimatize into the league too. Not everybody could just hit the ground running. True. It be really special, and we can't compare Lukaku to Sancho or Varane because Lukaku, he knows the league. He played with Chelsea before. Probably has players who were there when he was there before, so he knows the place. So we can't really compare. The fellas will get the games. Probably Sancho will start the next game. Varane might we'll see.
I think from the internet, I think that international break coming up in like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So I think once they come back from that, it's Champions League. So I think.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So I think once Champions League and international break is over for this time, I think those players will be in the team full time. I honestly think that Sancho will be starting on the right or the left, and Varane will be in place of Lindelof. I just think he does wait. He probably does feeding it out for the time being. But I think after the international break, if not before, I think next week is one more game, and then is the international break.
Yeah.
So I think even if they don't play, or if they don't start this week, or get minutes this week, I definitely think after the international break, there will be definitely, because I'm sure in that first game in the Champions League, whenever that is, they too will be the starting centre back and starting right winger on the team.
I agree. Yeah, I could see that. But however, I think he will have a bit more after today's result. I think there will be a bit of pressure on Oli to maybe start Sancho next game. Also, I think Cavani, you might see Cavani back into this team because today I think I saw this team screaming out for Cavani this game today. I think a player like Cavani, if we had a player like Cavani on the pitch today, we'd have won this game. So you might see Cavani, being rushed back into. Maybe he was trying to, pet these guys or, ease these guys back into the team. But I think a player like Cavani, something can happen this week. Cavani, we need you. Even if it's come off the bench, you're gonna see Cavani on that bench next game.
Yeah.
Because he's training, so he should be almost ready.
Yeah.
Right, so he might be on the bench for the next game.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be surprised if he start either.
And then come off and
I wouldn't be surprised because we need that focal point. When you saw it today, we need that focal point. As much as Marshall would have tried, we saw today that he just wasn't up to scratch, and a Cavani inside of there that with that poaching mentality, Southampton rings around Southampton today with that experience and that quality he has. Southampton defenders, I think that is where we'd have been able to expose their frailties and their inexperience today. But however, unfortunately, it didn't happen.
Yeah,
I saw one comment where somebody was asking when Marcus Rashford is fit, does he go back straight into the starting lineup, or does he have to work his way back in? And I don't know what you guys think.
I think he would have to work his way back in based on the fact that he's coming back from an injury. So he would probably come off the bench a few games. But he he is one of our starters, and we know that eventually he'll be starting. But he would work his way back in.
So if okay, let's say Paul Pogba keeps at all these performances. Let's say because Paul Pogba right now has what 5 assists. Let's say up to October, Paul Pogba gets, I don't know, another 7 or 8 assists, right? Where does that leave Ole Gunnar Solskjaer with Pogba and Rashford? I honestly don't know.
That's the thing. You could play both of them now.
Because it's my. Go ahead, I am sorry.
Because Rashford could play on the left, Pogba could play on the left. Rashford could play through the middle. These players could rotate during the game. It's not about just staying on one side. So these players could rotate positions during the game. And this is why I go back to the point we're crying out for that defensive midfielder. Because we could use our players.
The extra player.
Yeah, we could use our players much better with that defensive midfielder.
Correct.
Yeah, you're right. Right.
But but to answer this question from John Paul a little more directly, if you look at last season, when Oli saw the kind of impact Pogba had on the left side, Rashford was in and around, but when he was Oli saw he was
right.
playing this team playing right,
Yeah.
So if Pogba keep up this form, then you'll find Rashford and Sancho had a battle out on the right side. You understand? So I mean, what I am saying is correct, but I don't see us getting a defensive midfielder. So, and I hear.
Let me throw something at you, Ray. I can mention another player who keeps at his form as well too. Paul Pogba and Mason Greenwood. Tell me how the team going to go now. Tell me how the team going to go now. Paul Pogba and Mason Greenwood.
Let's remember. That plenty games to play. That plenty games to play. That plenty games to play. Everybody will get games.
It's true, Nico. But every name that we're mentioning is a guaranteed starter.
I see it in the comments already. Greenwood is a young player and he kind of play.
Nah. No boy, not Greenwood boy.
Not the team.
With Cavani there, I feel you put Greenwood on top.
No, but you know, the good thing about having all these players, right? Because remember, sometimes some players just peak at different times. So the good thing is that Greenwood peaking now. Whether that will last through the season, we have to wait and see. So when Greenwood probably start to tire a little bit, if that ever happens, then we know we have already Rashford to come in. You know,
Yeah.
So I think.
We got rotation. Men don't get little injuries. Go need the rest. You know.
But right now, I don't see Greenwood getting dropped for nobody.
Thank you.
Yeah, boy.
With all these players, we would see what type of manager Ole is now.
Exactly.
Yeah, definitely.
Because he belongs at United.
Because you watching, let me say he do say, well, hey, I go with Cavani next season. I telling you, I don't know how Sancho starting in that team, you know. Because you're looking at Greenwood form. It could be Pogba, Cavani, and Greenwood. You're not dropping Greenwood in this form?
No.
I can't drop Greenwood.
Yeah.
But we need that focal point on top. So.
Yeah.
But I guess it will depend on the opponent. It will depend on the team you're playing. If the team you're playing is an open team, you'll need like Greenwood. If the team is like Southampton today, you probably will need a Cavani. You know, it depends on the team. You know, like if you're playing like
Greenwood
scored today. But Greenwood scored today.
But that's the crazy thing too. But you know, like a team like Chelsea or Liverpool with Van Dijk or Rudiger or whoever they have in the back, you know, you need that. Exactly, you might need somebody at some experience to do something different. You know,
and last season, to be fair to Greenwood, he used to come off the bench and had an impact. He used to change the game coming off the bench. Just saying, last season he did that.
Greenwood has the ability to play against all those teams.
Yeah, definitely he does.
There's a selection headache for Ole.
And also take into mind that World Cup is next year.
Yeah.
No, but he shouldn't be on the Euro team. You know, he's the only person that get punished for the whole incident. Foden didn't get punished. He's the only person that get punished for that whole thing. You know, so he should be on the team. But you know, that's neither here nor there. But
I actually, when you consider Greenwood form right now, it was due to a very good preseason. So I'm glad Greenwood didn't go to Euros, if I honest with you. Because he'd go there and play 2 minutes for the entire tournament.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm glad Greenwood didn't go, and guys, we've seen the benefits of that with Greenwood now. Let me just get some comments, guys, and then we'll go to closing thoughts, right? Hey, Nicholas Dream Chaser, thanks for joining, boy. He's saying I'm late, but fellas, we're supposed to win this game. Yeah, it was our fault. Too much chances throw away. Pogba could have a hat trick. Defense, too much mistakes. Could easily lost the game as well. Hey, Ollie, they here come up with a big save today.
Yeah, that's a big save. Yeah, I'm sure kind of pretty close to him, but still.
Yeah.
He had a good game. He had an excellent game.
Riyadh saying Rashford has to earn his place when he returns. But with Rashford, we can still use Pogba as a higher playmaker just behind Bruno. We can see how that works.
I guess so, yeah.
Kind of too late for that.
Hey, Callum, thanks for joining, man. He's saying Fred score on us.
Yeah, it was our own goal. They wrote it as our own goal.
We're scotching games in a row.
I want to see his passport. He's Venezuelan. Callum. He's saying Greenwood is good stuff. All right. Davian saying Fred and Marcel deserves me. Greenwood is our future striker. Yeah, we could see something like that happening. If there are questions we could talk about it, but guys, time on us. So I'll give Eric the last comment and then we'll get closing thoughts, right? He's saying, good night, fellas. Very disappointed with the performance today. Sloppy passing, poor defending. That draw certainly felt like a loss, no doubt. We should be rolling over that Southampton team who were weaker this season. Yes, very much so. With the players all we have available today, again, no way. Even without a quality defensive midfielder, we should be winning. No excuses. This one is on Ole.
Yeah.
Anderson, closing thoughts.
Well, you don't want to get too disappointed. It's only the second game. And there are plenty of games to come. So you don't want to get too down, but you are disappointed with the result today. We should have had 6 points, 2 games, 6 points. And, because like somebody said, we have the easiest schedule for the first couple of games. And Chelsea playing, I think, City next week or Liverpool or somebody. I know Liverpool playing. I know the top teams play, like Liverpool and Chelsea.
City play Liverpool. City play Arsenal, I think, next week. But
so,
Food.
But it would have been nice to have.
A 23 team.
It would have been Arsenal another level right now. They just have to worry about a relegation scrap. They've been a relegation scrap. But it's disappointed. But they didn't want to get too down. It's still have games to go, and we just have to bounce back next week against. I'm not sure who the team is, but
Wolves.
Right. So come back with a win, go into the international break on a high, come back and build up for the Champions League. And I guess this week you'll know who the group stage. So but that is my only thing. It's disappointed, but just forget about it. Use it as something to build from and learn from, especially in the games coming up. Not to take teams for granted and not to lie, not to say, we score 5 against Leeds. That's going to be easy. But, learn from this and move forward. And, hopefully get a good result in before the international break. Everybody will be a little bit more positive and, come back. Everybody healthy and, go for the next game.
Yeah, man. Hey, Kurt, welcome, man. He's saying Mason is the future, yes? Kurt just trained with the youths in Man United. Kurt know about all them youths and them. Go through, Phil.
I started off negative on the show, so I'll end positive, right? 27 away games, we're unbeaten, right? So that is something that is progress under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, right? Today was an abysmal performance, but I mean, having not been beaten for 27 games is an achievement in itself, right? Will we be inconsistent for the next probably 3 to 4 games? I hope not. Right? There are 7 more days in this transfer market. I hopefully could see a defensive midfielder come within these next 7 days. Right? Not too sure about Lindelof as defensive midfielder. Definitely don't subscribe to that. But definitely, we move on, right? Yeah.
Yeah, man. Iron.
Yeah, today was disappointing, but I think we could learn some lessons from today. I'm kind of glad it happened for this part of the season, so Ole could make some more adjustments to the team. So I'm looking forward to that Wolves game, and hopefully we could come out victorious.
Yeah.
Nico?
Yeah, for me, similar as Anderson, it's only the second game of the season, and similar as Lion, I'm glad some of the mistakes that we made today, it didn't result in a loss. It's simple as Matic. Hey, come on, I was calling for Matic for the first game of the season, but after today's performance, and I think Oli would have learned his lesson that maybe Matic is not the player you want to start. And as I think is Phil would have said, you at the end of the game you're winning 3-0. You wanna cruise out the game, control the game. Maybe at time there's a Matic. So I hope Oli would have learned that today. Also today, I think if it is that Sancho is doing well in training, you will see Sancho into the team. You might even see Varane coming into the team. Cavani coming back into the team. Maybe faster or a game ahead of when they would have come because of today's result, and maybe that could work in our favor. So I guess it's just really for us to not take too much out of the draw today, which felt like a loss, but to look at it as in terms of we know the mistakes we make, like we not make it for the next games going forward.
Yeah. Well said, guys. One thing I noticed today after the game, Pogba, I think they only interviewed Pogba and Oli, and you could see the disappointment in Pogba's face, especially when he would have given up so much today. When Pogba was talking, you could see it, and I feel Pogba when he was talking, So I know the team disappointed with the result, coming off a high with Leeds, knowing how vital every point is in this league if you want to finish first or you want to, be up there come May. Every point matters, So I know the guys and them would have felt this result, And to me, as everybody would have said, it's better it happen now than when the race intensifies. We could still pick up points. Teams could still drop points early on because remember, people still building up the fitness levels. So teams are more susceptible to dropping points now, rather than later on, when everything go on, teams pushing everything. So I really hope that, the guys really up the game because this is what we want. We want the best. We want to continue to be on the top. We don't want to settle for mediocrity. We don't want to settle for being second best. Draws supposed to hurt like losses, And one point to say, just to touch on something Nico said just now, I don't want to criticize none of our players. I know, fellas, chances are days will be going forward with. I don't see us getting a defensive midfielder simply because we just take a month to buy a player. We only have a couple of weeks, days, right? And we can change. That's it happening, right? And we know the track record of our players. Fred go be the Venezuelan today. Chances if he get a chance against Wolves, he might be a Brazilian. Similarly for Matic. Matic might come whenever he gets his next game, and we might be calling for Matic to start again after that. So that's just how these players, that's just what it do us, So all I asking for is for men to give us the A game every time they get a chance. Let Oli have the headache at choosing the team. Don't let that decision be because players are playing at their optimum, So yeah. Last comment going to Riyadh with the outer time himself. Let me hear you. Anyway, guys, you know, it was nice. Thanks for all the likes, the shares, the comments. Thanks to the panel. Guys, it's always good having you all on, you know. So see you all on the next one. Have a good night.
Good night.
Good night.